You've joined the Auckland HOG Chapter as we're assembling at Auckland Harley Davidson, ready to depart for one of our Saturday rides with this time the destination is going to be the Northcote Tavern, but of course we're not going to go there directly. If we did, it would be a very short ride indeed, because that's, if you look on Google Maps, you'll see it's only 18 kilometres from the dealership to the Northcote Tavern. You just have to go down the motorway over the Harbour Bridge and you're there, so it's not much of a ride, and it's certainly not a ride that we'd undertake. What we'll be doing is heading on the Southwestern motorway, joining up to the Northwestern, heading up through Massey, then linking up through Kumeu, Waimauku, up through Helensville, and then further on up to Kaukopakapa before turning up Dairy Flat, heading up that way until we get up to the top end of the Dairy Flat Highway, and then we'd swing it back down towards the city, going through Albany before rejoining State Highway 1 and then just sailing on down up to Northcote, getting off the motorway and heading up to the Northcote Tavern. This video is going to show little highlights of the whole ride, the whole chapter ride experience on what is a reasonably typical Saturday ride. So enough yakety yak, let's get into it. Well, the first thing you probably noticed was the different direction we headed out from the dealership, heading down Niall Burgess Rd before getting onto Great South Road. That's the way that we need to go to join on to State Highway 20, which is very much a less common destination point when we're leaving from Mount Wellington. Would normally be travelling south, but in this case our ultimate destination is in the north, so we're riding up the western side of the city region, hence this way. Now it does have the bonus of taking us through the Waterview Tunnel. Strange name because of course there's no view in here of anything, just concrete for quite some way, but it's anyway, it's an interesting tunnel as tunnels go. Road is very good, it's dry when it's rain, there's no wind, and you can certainly make some pretty decent noise with the Harleys in here. In fact, the road captain pointed out, you must make sure not to make any noise in there. Wink. Okay, yeah, right, got that, roger. Once we come out of the Waterview Tunnel, we have a direct link joining up from what was State Highway 20, is now joining State Highway 16, which features in a few videos. This is the top end of it, which I haven't often filmed. This is heading up towards we're pretty much heading in a northerly direction right here. We're going to get off at Royal Road, and from there we'll be starting to get a little bit rural, which is quite nice because there's only so much motorway riding that's really fun to do. And just like that, with the magic of video, we're transported into Tawa Rd, which is in Kumeu, and we're heading up, finding the way to rejoin again to State Highway 16, which you'll see has transformed at this point into a country road from a multi-lane motorway. I think I've mentioned that once before in one of my videos, that State Highway 16 is a bit of a chameleon. It has many different faces. We saw the multi-lane motorway face of it before. We're going to see a slightly different side of it soon, but in the meantime we're still riding through some really nice country roads, heading up to, this is down Puke Rd I think, heading in the general direction to a line back on State Highway 16, which we've just rejoined now as we're heading up towards Waimauku. Now you can see there's a lot of motorbikes out this day. There's groups of mostly cruiser bikes, looks like a lot of Harleys, not too many sport bikes out today, although they're always out there as well, or often zipping along. Here we are on Old North Road, and this was, I had to turn the camera back on for this. This little glade was really quite a welcome respite from the sun, because it was getting pretty warm here as we're heading up towards Helensville. And very shortly I had stopped recording for a spell and really turned on the recorder again when we got through to Albany, but we did have about another hour of riding. I through those country roads there. It's, well, an hour, 3/4 of an hour anyway. Very pleasant riding. And then before you know it, we're back in suburbia. This is in the Upper Harbour Highway, heading up towards Constellation Drive on the north shore of Auckland. We're pretty much back in the city now. And very soon we're turning right onto the Constellation Onramp, State Highway 1, which is going to be heading us in a southbound direction right towards the city. We'll be turning off just before the Auckland Harbour Bridge to get up to Northcote. We're taking the Onramp Road turn off, and I think we'll see that coming up shortly. Across the water there we can see the city with the Sky Tower, and we're turning off at Onramp Road right here to real close to Northcote Tavern now. Now as we're heading onto Onramp Road proper, well, we're only on here for a very short time before we turn off, and we're turning on to Queen Street in Northcote, heading up towards Northcote Point. I guess every town in New Zealand's got a Queen Street, and Northcote's certainly got its own one right here. This takes us up directly towards the base of the Harbour Bridge, and if you're heading up here, you should, and you've not done it before, you can carry on past the tavern where we're going and get yourself right underneath the Harbour Bridge. There's even a little park and walkway under there, and you can enjoy that particular feature if that's something that might interest you. Now getting back to Queen Street itself, I have to say this is one of the poorest suburban roads I've been on in a while. It was bumpy as all hell coming down here, and it's not even talking about the disastrous road bumps they got in the middle of the street here to, I guess they call it traffic calming measures, but they're just designed to throw people off motorbikes, I think. Anyway, this journey's about to come to an end. We're just pulling up to the Northcote Tavern here, and I'll let it wind down as we pull into the parking area. So that's more or less a hog ride, start to finish. We were a couple of hours on the road, and we've now come here for a welcome refreshment break. So I hope you've had a little bit of an insight to what goes on a hog ride. Take care out there, ride safe. See you next week.